Skateboard is up. Look, I don't know about the lore about him, but he's from the Playground faction. Let's move on. Skateboard is a melee fighter that has incredible amounts of mobility thanks to his skateboard mechanic. His role consists of a hit-and-run playstyle, as he can attack enemies while being virtually hard to hit. He performs better against lone targets, just like Bygraft. Skateboard can do both burst and chip damage in different situations, which overall benefit his playstyle. I will explain his whole kit in 3 different parts: the ability stuff, the stunt stuff, and the fighting stuff. Also, I will display an icon showing which mode is active when explaining the move. Firstly, let's talk about your passive. Both modes have their own traits, so I will explain both of them. Sluggish's passive is your walk speed. Stuntish's passive is when you jump near a ledge, you will perform a stunt and gain some speed, and as well as do damage when you land. This is arguably the most important part of your kit, and will determine if you live or die. Utilize this passive frequently as possible. I will teach you how to do tricks in the next part. You will also not generate shields and cannot receive any haste boosts, so make sure you find a safe place to stop and rest before getting into any conflicts. Your standing primary or swing it will perform a 2-hit combo doing a total of 30 damage. You will lose speed every time you use it. Make sure you make every hit count, and should be used on low health enemies or get a bit of chip damage. Your skating primary or push it, you will generate speed as well as damage enemies who come into contact near you. You should be using this when you can't perform any tricks nearby or aren't attacking to maintain speed. Your next standing ability or bash him, when up and slam your skateboard to whoever is close and he'll disable them or root them. Use this to finish off enemies or slowly prevent enemies from chasing you while off board. Your next skating ability or kick him, perform a kickflip and gain some speed. Use this to get higher places. You can also combine it with a stunt for extra height. And then we have another standing ability, run. Charge forward with your shoulder, doing damage. Use this to catch up to enemies, or use this run away from enemies in a pinch. Then, another skating ability, boost. Pause your movement for a moment, and then boost forward, and knock away enemies slightly. The walk speed you gain depends on how long you charge the boost. Use this if you're stuck, or in a pickle. You can use this in midair and allow yourself to make a turn if needed. Then, a universal ability, switch modes, standing and skating modes. In skating mode, pressing it again and killing anyone will reset the cooldown, allowing a hit and run. Finally, your universal finisher, the cool rag, coffin. Charge up and perform a coffin move and stun and damage enemies. You will also be boosted with a lot of speed. It would be better to use this to set up combos or allow your teammates to attack the enemy team easier. In standing mode, you will be switched into skating mode.
I'm the king of the underground.
If you want to boost your performance playing skateboard, you will need to know how to perform tricks and the techniques. Ledges can be anything, including ramps, tables, anything. Make sure you press space before you reach the ledge. Get creative and find spots during firefights to keep your speed up and make yourself somewhat untouchable. Find any spots that can be good for tricks. You must develop the mindset of finding spots to do stunts on. It can be the difference of making the enemy's life hell or the other way around. As you develop more speed, you will need to know how to maintain that speed without messing up. The only way to get better is to practice. Practice any spots you can find and, well, practice. You can also adjust the mouse speed to your liking. I would recommend a speed where you can control skateboard well instead of being unstable. There is also a way of grinding tricks. You can grind tricks on the same ledge. You will need to learn how to move your mouse to make this work. Edge hugging is when you flick your camera back from the platform and quickly come back to the platform and perform a trick. This is useful for closing distances, like escaping enemies or ranged fighters. Then we have the 360 trick. As soon as you trick, spin your camera just so you can land on the platform and perform a trick, and then repeat. Useful for capturing points with enemies or any enemies nearby. Once you have learned how to perform tricks, it's time to learn how to apply this into matches. Your role should be a hit-and-run tactic. Instead of trying to crush an enemy, just slowly chip their health, and overwhelm them with your terrifying speed. And with the new changes, because I wrote the script before the new changes were made, which my dumbass self didn't want to type it all over again. Onboard will be used as your source of chipping damage, and being off-board will allow you to secure low-health enemies. Use your switch ability to finish off enemies, since it does more damage the more speed you have. Know when it's best to be off-board, because killing anyone with the ability can reset the cooldown, allowing you to get out of there before any threats arrive. It would be recommended to be paired with your teammates. Your presence is already annoying enough, but having another teammate will make you even more scary to take on. This, and combining it with your finisher, can make you a very good support, while still having chipping away their health. Though I'll just leave it here. Hopefully you learned how to use skateboard more efficiently. So have fun.